Hi everybody, welcome to my kitchen. I am going to be showing you guys my chicken curry recipe that is inspired by the beautiful Guyana as well as other Caribbean countries. I grew up eating a lot of Caribbean foods just because my parents had a lot of Guyanese and Trinidadian friends, and as I grew up too, I also had a lot of Guyanese and Trinidadian friends, which I actually still do, and I just love the food. It's so delicious and the flavors are amazing. The hot sauce, everything is so good. So first I would like to show you the ingredients that I use. I bought some of these ingredients from Greens, which is on Albion Road. I think you can get it from any Caribbean grocery store there is. So I had this. It's like chicken curry seasoning. Amazing. I use it for that. And then I have some pepper sauce that's also from Greens. It's a scorpion pepper, so it's really spicy. If you like spice, it's great. You should get it. I swear my mouth is watering just thinking about it right now. I'll be using chicken thighs with the bone in and skin off. I have here red onion, garlic, ginger, and Scotch bonnet peppers that are actually from my garden. My parents plant them every single year because we love the taste of it, and I like to put it in my curries like I mentioned. And then salt and pepper, and literally that's it. Like, you don't even need that many ingredients. It's more about the cooking time. So I actually stewed the chicken curry for I think like 45 minutes to an hour, just because I really like the taste of like the chicken being seasoned and stewed for a long time. I feel like it really flavors everything really well, and you don't have to add that much stuff. Like, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, about 7 ingredients, and it's gonna turn out amazing. I know. I use this little chopper. It's kind of like it just goes like this, and it like minces everything really well. So I'm just gonna throw all of the ingredients in here. So this is how the ginger, garlic, and onions look after I mince them in my mincer. That's what they look like. So another thing that accompanies chicken curry is dal, and I used was yellow split peas, and this is what it looks like. So in this pot I have yellow split peas as well as salt, pepper, and the Caribbean chicken curry seasoning that I had mentioned before. I'm gonna boil this for about 10 more minutes until I know it's like fully cooked, and then I put it in the blender, blend it up, and then I'm going to add some more powder, maybe some of the Scotch bonnet pepper, and then just let it boil. Though I think the main purpose of this dal is to be pretty simple and just kind of like a side to accompany your rice. Alrighty, so I'm gonna start by adding in about, I would say 3 tablespoons of avocado oil. Okay, so once the oil has heated after about, I would say 2 to 3 minutes, I'm going to add in my onions, garlic, and ginger. So now I'm just going to let that sweat for a little bit. So 2 to 3 minutes have gone by, and this is kind of what it looks like. The onions have kind of gone a little bit translucent, and it's cooking up really well. At this point, I'm going to add some salt. That's about 1 teaspoon. And just a little bit of pepper. This sounds kind of weird, but I swear it already smells so good. Next, I'm going to take some of my curry powder, maybe about 1 teaspoon. Put that in there. I'm gonna keep adding more throughout like the recipe because I like to taste it to see like what it tastes like throughout the cooking process. That's how I cook. I like to taste in between. I can't just taste at the end and be like, oh, it's good. So now I'm going to take my Scotch bonnet pepper and my kitchen scissors. These are my kitchen scissors. And I like to just kind of thinly cut some up. These are really, really, really hot. So these are based on your preference. However spicy you like it, you should put as much as you like. Mix it up. And the reason why I use the scissors is because I used to cut it with my hands on a cutting board, and then your fingertips would burn for hours. They would burn because I guess the juices of the Scotch bonnet would get into your fingers, and then it would be really painful. And don't even get me started about the time that I rub my eye, because that really hurts. So I kind of feel like adding a little bit more of the curry powder. I'm gonna take another teaspoon, so that's the second teaspoon, and dump that in there. And now you can kind of see that like the flavor is really like coming out. The onions are getting nice and caramelized, and the smell in the kitchen is so good right now. One ingredient that I actually missed, and I'm sorry about that, is the chicken bouillon cubes. So I use Knorr. I'm not going to put a full one in because I think that's too much. I will show you how much I am putting in. Now, this is how much I'm going to be putting in. I think I will be adding in more later, but again, like I cook the way, I kind of cook by tasting things and seeing like, does it need more salt, does it need more pepper? Alrighty, so a minute has gone by, and now I'm going to add my skinless bone-in chicken thighs. What I like to do is put in a little bit more of the curry powder on top of like the chicken the way it is here, because I feel like it kind of gives like a nice brown effect to the chicken, and I like to just sprinkle it everywhere. Let it sit for like a 30 seconds, and that was a teaspoon, by the way. So now that 30 seconds have gone by, I'm gonna just give it like a nice mix, just so it doesn't burn. I'm sorry y'all, but like I'm a really good cook. So now I've kind of taken everything from the bottom of the pot and mixed it onto the chicken. Now what I'm going to do is spread them out so none of them are kind of overlapped, and just turn the heat a little bit lower and let it kind of cook on its own right now. Alright, so I'm turning the heat up a little bit so it can start to sizzle. I'm going to mix it around. You can tell that like the chicken is really getting flavored with the curry seasoning and the salt and the pepper and the bouillon cube. It actually makes a huge difference. At this point, I'm going to add a little bit more of the bouillon cube, so about that much, as well as another teaspoon of the curry powder. And last but definitely not least, some more Scotch bonnet. About that much. And give everything a nice mix. So at this point, I'm gonna let my chicken just kind of stay like this for about 2 or 3 more minutes, and then I'm gonna add the water. 2 or 3 minutes have gone by. I gave it a stir here and there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in the water. Basically, I just want to cover the chicken. Sometimes what I've done in the past is if I don't feel like the chicken has stewed enough, I just add more water and just boil it for even longer. I kind of feel like because the chicken pieces are so big that I need to add a little bit more water, so I'm going to do about 3/4 cup. There we go. So I'm going to give this a nice stir and add about, let's do 1 more teaspoon of the curry powder. And maybe just a little bit more salt. So I'm gonna put this on about like medium, and I'm going to cover it. So this is what it looks like after about 5 minutes. Just gonna give it a nice stir. So now I'm gonna add some of my pepper sauce to the mix. I'm going to put about 1/2 teaspoon in because it's very hot. It's made from scorpion pepper. Maybe just about that much. Now I'm just gonna let it boil and then I'm gonna stir it again. Okay, so now it has been boiling for about, I would say like 40 minutes. And you can tell like the flavors are really getting into the chicken because the chicken's getting so nice and brown and flavorful. But this gravy is way too thin for me. I kind of like it thick. So I'm gonna keep on boiling it. I also added a little bit more dal just so it gets a little bit more thicker, and I did a taste test, and let me tell you how amazing it tasted. It's not as spicy as I would like it, but my dad doesn't like it that spicy, so I guess I have to be considerate. And I always have the hot sauce on the side, so I can always add it to my own. But I'm gonna let it boil for a little bit more longer until I feel like it's like thick enough, because I feel like it's soupy right now and I don't really like having soup with rice, so yeah. Okay, so now 25 minutes have gone by since the last time I checked, and you can clearly see how much the chicken has changed. The gravy is now really thick, which is what I love, and the chicken is brown. I also did a taste test and it tastes phenomenal. I will plate it and show you.